Pause. Sorry, what? Hey. Nini? Hebu weka light. Da, toa hiyo kitu. Hebu nyamazeni. Mhm. Hi guys.
Hello.
Yeah. So can everybody hear me?
Yes.
So we'll be starting the session. We'll be starting the session at exactly 6. So for this 15 minutes before the session starts, I'll be admitting most people. Feel free if you have any questions in regards to the particular talk. Feel free to highlight them. Yes, thank you. Let me admit some guests. So just basic etiquette rules. So please mute your microphone anytime the speaker is talking so that there is no echo. Yeah. So let me admit some few people, then we'll begin shortly. Thank you. So in case of any questions, please feel free to write them on the chat. I'll have somebody note down the questions. So if you have any questions for Dr. Bright, feel free to add them on the chat. I'll be glad to write them down so that when you're starting, I can send him the list. I'm seeing Dr. Bright has just joined. So welcome, Dr. Bright, to the session. We are waiting for some of the guests to join. So yes, so as we wait for him to join, I'll be admitting people. So this particular talk has been sponsored by Original Consulting Agency LLC. So I will be playing some of the videos in regards to what Original Consulting Agency is about. So have a look as I continue admitting the particular participants for the talk. Thank you. Hi guys, how are you doing all? So as we wait for some of the people to join, we are currently at 49 participants. So maybe we can have a feeling of how your week has been. So any participants? So Julius, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we, maybe we can have Julius take over. Julius, if you're with me.
Hello everyone. I trust everyone is all well. I also hope you can actually hear me clearly. Yeah, so taking over. Thank you very much for taking your time to join to join the talk on cybersecurity today. And today, we are really delighted to host all of you actually. So thank you very much, John, for also the opportunity to also say something about also the talk and also at large Vesan computing. So we as Vesan Computing, we are actually a web development and also mobile application development company based in Nairobi. And so far we do have a product called Isokoni Markets Kenya, whereby it's an e-commerce platform aimed at helping the normal mwananchi to actually get their business or their products out there, because it's usually a really big challenge for most of the normal mwananchi people to be able to get that opportunity to go out and be able to showcase their products out there from the place of their choice. So that's the aim of actually Isokoni Market, which is a product of Western Computing. And also we also thank we also thank SCAL for coming through and also sponsoring us, and so that we can actually bring, aim for the success of this talk for today. So thank you very much, John, for this opportunity. Back to you, John.
Okay, thank you, Julius, for that brief introduction. So we are currently at 60 participants. So we had around 200 registered participants for the particular talk. So as people are going to join, I am going to let them in. So yes, so welcome. As Julius has told you, what basically Vesen is about. So feel free to ask any questions. Feel free, sorry about that. So feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to be interactive. So I want this to be a very, very interactive session with Dr. Bright. So I'm sure you all know Dr. Bright and have maybe listened in to one of his talks. So I will give a brief introduction. So this session is brought to you by Vesen Computing Solution, and we are privileged to have our sponsor today, who is a regional consulting agency, LLC. Just to tell you a bit about our sponsor, Original Consulting Agency LLC is a brokerage firm focused on connecting talent with clients. So Original Consultancy Agency LLC was formed in 2020, founder being Pauline, who sought to simplify the end-to-end invention process. So that is basically idea to production via the Internet of Things brewed in the African port platform, utilizing, first of all, a pioneer QA team. So that's basically a QA team that first of all reviews and guides talent's invention, collaborates with talent to prepare and monetize analysis, facilitate high quality IoT products and services. And they also have a globally experienced IP legal team. So all your IP legal concerns are put behind. So they facilitate fair compensation for sale, funding of inventions, plus minimum of 5% royalties. Facilitates fair compensation for funding of invention, and negotiates contracts for inventors and investors. So if you're an inventor today, make sure to head over to their website or download the application, which is available on both Play Store and Apple Store. So enough about Original Consulting Agency LLC. We are here to hear the talk by Dr. Bright. So I'm sure all of you are eager to hear what he has in store for you. So basically, Bright is the head of Managed Security Services at Dimension Data East Africa and founder of the Cybersecurity Collective Africa Hackon. So I'm sure the USIU fraternity who are on board are familiar with Africa Hackon, because we have interacted with some of you, and some of the events were held there. So I'm sure we have met, and you have met Dr. Bright in one instance or the other. So yes, so Dr. Bright, if you're with us.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
How about yourself?
Yes. So can everybody hear Dr. Bright just on the chat?
I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we have Dr. Bright, who is with us today. I've tried to give a brief introduction about who Dr. Bright is today. So Dr. Bright, you can take away the stage.
Okay. I don't have a presentation, so I'm just going to be very random.
It's fine.
Can you make me a presenter? I can't share my screen. I need to share my screen to be able to share a few details that I have here.
Yeah. Could you check now?
Okay, just a second. I've opened so many windows. Still, I can't.
What about now?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I think I will just share my entire screen. Okay, it's not allowing me to share my entire screen. It's just 1 second. It's only giving me to share a particular window. This is unusual. Okay, I'll just be switching between places. So hi, let's see. So I hope you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is just basically for very few details about me. My name is Bright Gameli Mawudor. I'm a security researcher and engineer as well. I currently head the managed security services at Dimension Data, where I basically sort out clients to make sure that they're secure, trying to give them what they need. I'm very open person. You find almost everything detail about me out there. It's quite easy to find me. Um, I'm also into the physical security space, which is Kung Fu today. So we here today to talk about basically how to get into cybersecurity, how to enhance yourself in it, um, and how do you basically go about things. So I wish I could share my entire screen so that don't have to keep on moving, which is, I don't know why this is stopping me from doing that. Ooh, okay, just a second. Just 1 second, because the window that I want to share, I have too many open right now. I need to be sure of exactly. So if you look at this, to become a computer security path, somebody posted this up some time back and said, you know what, you can even either go path 1, whereby you become a forensic analyst, a forensic lab editor, director, you become a chief security official. We're going to get into those details to know exactly what they mean. And then you become a highly paid security consultant. That will take you approximately 20 years. Or it's easy for you to just go the route of a cyber criminal. You become a hacker, of course, be a cyber criminal, and then become a convict. You get after a few months or years, then you become what? A highly paid security consultant. And the funny thing is, this 14 months is what, with good behavior, is what you need to stay in when locked. So many people like to go this route, and people keep on asking me, what does it really take to be a cybersecurity engineer? So, 1 second. I really wanted an easy way to share stuff. I'm just going to take you through basically how did I get into this path of cybersecurity? How did it work out for me? So I was in high school in St. Mary's here in Kenya. I'll just give a brief of my history. Went to St. Mary's, and there I thought I'll do software engineering or to be a programmer. I started hacking around that time, a few things here and there. But it was very tough at the time. It wasn't an easy way of trying to learn how to do computer hacking and all of those. So I just take tutorials, I try it out. Basically network hacking, keyloggers, is what the basic anybody will start with at the time. Right now, people are at the very advanced levels, even when they're young. So I kept on going on with that path for a while. Went to Daystar University, where I learned a bit more. There was a lab that I had access to called the Data Lab, which was a resource lab. Having access to that resource lab, there you can practice anything you want. It's not the fancy resource lab you have. I mean, the students were in the call right now. I'm sure you have a very fancy lab right now. At the time, it was very dirty type of place. It's not a really nice. You see it. But again, I was not really good with software engineering. Programming was not my strongest base, as only the things that I learned in class that I got to. But I started doing a lot more computer networks. Those networking skills came in through. So I tried to do CCNA. I studied the whole thing, but I never wrote the exam. I studied CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, but I never wrote the exam. It's basically just wanted to see. So a touch of all of those, I didn't know it was eventually going to help me in the future. So if you look at it, so I had to understand basic programming languages. Uh, uh, if you have your mic on, just kindly mute if you're not talking. So basically, I started with basic programming languages to understand exactly what the coding, and I'm talking about basic stuff like HTML, CSS, PHP, and then I tried Python, and that didn't really work out for me. I tried. I mean, even things like C, C++, also the kind of thing that I tried to. Oh, I've forgotten Java. So I'm not a good coder when it comes to such things. Trust me, if you tell me to create a website right now, it's the most difficult thing for me to do. However, I understand the basics of them. I understand how code works. I understand how things are going on. So that's basic programming. Then it comes to basics of networking. I'm a computer network. So this was basically your N plus and A plus, where you learn how to fix computers, how to even install RAM and everything. People think just becoming a cybersecurity engineer means you have to go straight into hacking. No, you even need to know how to even put a computer together, how to change a RAM and the likes, because you might get to a part of cybersecurity where you need such skills. N plus helps you to understand basic networking skills. How do you even crimp, is it crimp or climp, whatever it is, network cable, an RJ45. How do you make sure that you can connect two computers together with a cable without being on a switch or LAN? Just basics of those, understanding that was really essential for me. Then I went into certified ethical hacker course. I tried to learn the entire book. I did the entire the whole course. Again, I never wrote the exam for this. I did it, and I was able to use a few of those to do one to two things. I was able to join a few hacking groups, both on Google Drive, on Google, how do you call it? It's called Google Groups, and what we call IRC channels. I am sure most of you don't even know what this is, but you can Google about that. IRC channels is the WhatsApp group you have right now, but that was very purely technical. You put, I mean, or rather, excuse me, I'll compare IRC channels to Discord right now. The way Discord is Discord channel is where you find IRC channels, very similar thing. So of course I left Daystar. I went to, and I wasn't the strongest. I didn't have the strongest of points there. And I went to Cellulant, where I was an entry-level cybersecurity engineer. That is where things changed, because everything you seen up there was not coming together properly. I was like, okay, there's a few things that were missing. I had no idea how to work with databases properly, because I mean I learned it in school, but to work with it in the real life was a completely different thing. So I had to start learning MySQL, had to learn MSQL and the likes, just basic database, and of course, and Postgres.
Dr. Bright.
Yes.
There's a request from the chat. If you could be a bit louder.
Oh, okay. Now, can you hear me? Is it better?
It's too loud.
Oh, okay. Is this better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This was adjusting itself. I'm using Linux, that's the thing. Oh, yes. Then now after getting to do this, I was such a Windows guy. To use Linux was such a difficult thing. And I started using Linux. Oh, but when I was in undergrad, I was using a lot of Linux, but then it was called Backtrack 3, 4, and 5. Then now, right now, what you have Backtrack is called Kali Linux. I know a few people here will have used something called Pirate OS or Arc Linux and the likes. I mean, there are various types of Linux. People will use Ubuntu. People will use SUSE OS. It doesn't matter what operating system you use. It just depends on exactly what you want to do. So then later I went to South Korea. Again, I went for my master's and things changed again because there I saw it's a whole lot of things that I have to learn. That's why I started getting my Python skills were going better. Again, I was only coding for geospatial kind of projects, but not really much of a Python coder. And but before I could get my Python skills, I had to do what you call Bash programming. This I learned this most of it when I was at Cellulant because a lot of things you have to script. You have to automate a lot of stuff, which Bash programming is basically Linux coding, but you automate a lot of things. It's scripting. So it's a scripting language. So if you look at this, this gave me a whole level of understanding basics of all kinds of programming languages. And again, I'm not the best at any of this. If you tell me until today, there's one thing that I still go to get any of all of this done because you can't remember because you can't remember everything in programming or Linux or Kali or Pirate OS. So I went to the biggest school of lessons, Google. Google gets you to understand basically almost anything and everything you want. So my master's PhD did them in both in cybersecurity, but different kind of focus when it was there. However, how do you get, I'll share this with you. I know I've not, or should I just share all of this right now in the chat so that I don't miss out and by mistake, just delete them. I'm very, very random and very open when it comes to that. Then later now became a point of me getting to understand exactly what do I want to do, right? What do I want to do when it comes to cybersecurity? There's so many paths, there's so many career paths when it comes to cybersecurity. And when I was in Korea, just one second. When I was in Korea, there was, I had to learn the hard way. I was getting to jobs, into projects to be done, and I've been told to go do a security consultancy for a company which is purely JavaScript based, and then they use a different kind of frameworks, and I'm just like, what do I really want to be? Now, there are different kind of levels of cybersecurity you can get into. So this career pathway that I'm showing here, we're looking at networking, getting to software development. I'll share this link with you, don't worry. System engineering, financial and risk analysis, security intelligence. So everybody used to think for you to be a cybersecurity engineer means that you need to get into hacking. It has to be very technical. There are so many people who are not even technical at all. But again, getting those basics is always an added advantage, if you, like I told you. So there's the entry level of trying to be a cybersecurity specialist or technician. Basically, you are just trying to understand how things work. You're trying to understand how to move around the systems. Basic security, you're just responding to complaints in the network when they ask you. So if you look at that, being a cybersecurity specialist or technician can lead you to become a cybersecurity analyst, where you're looking deeper into network systems and be able to figure things out much better. You can become a cybersecurity consultant. where people actually call you and ask you questions and tell you, hey, um, we need help to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you assist? Now, the reason why a consultant sometimes gets paid, I'll get to the money part later, is that people can pay you per call, people can pay you per project, people can pay you for advisory. There's a time where uh, my advisory services, I mean, the first time I did, okay, and I'll get to the money part later, but there's some people who can pay you almost $100 every 30 minutes or every less than a 30 minutes conversation they have with you. Why? Because you are the expert, because you're an expertise. This average salary you're seeing here, that $89,000 is per year. But again, that per year is, let me see, how much does that come to? Divided by 12, that's $7,000. Right now, I'm so sure you're thinking like, okay, if this is entry level, what am I doing with my life? This is in the States or in another country, so don't look at this as the ultimate, how do you call it? The ultimate salary is supposed to receive at an entry level. Different places differ from different kind of levels of how much you're supposed to be paid, and I'm going to come down to that. You can become a cybercrime analyst or investigator, where you take things deeper into what has happened in a for forensics. It's more like a forensic investigation, but you want to understand, to know what happened. And you see here, your network skills might come in, your programming skills might come in play, your general level of computer security will come and play here, because every situation you go for will be very different. You have an analyst or responder, where you have when you do what you call threat intelligence or security operations center, getting to see traffic that is coming. You want to be able to see, how do you get to filter out separate signal from noise, and use that as a way to be able to help an organization to know what is happening. Incident responders are 24/7 service, and you don't have to necessarily be the person who is just doing the analyst job, but you can actually become a consultant as well later. An IT auditor, necessarily, you can be an auditor, but none doesn't mean you're very technical, but you understand that the cybersecurity terminologies, details, and that can lead you to become a consultant or become a penetration and vulnerability tester. What that means, a vulnerability tester will be able to scan systems with generally available tools, either open source applications or proprietary tools that you have purchased, and get to understand what is wrong with the system. It's like the way you go to a house, when you see a door, you hold it and see, okay, is it open or closed? Now, you don't break in. A penetration tester will try to use a hammer, a sledgehammer, a normal hammer. We're trying to see, if they use a chisel, would they be able to break into that house? That is what a pen tester do. Uses every means that it looks like it's vulnerable to break into that particular vulnerability they have identified. If it's a glass door, what would you do? Would you use your legs and get broken and get cut? Or would you use a sledgehammer for you to be able to actually break in? You will find different ways of being able to break into something. That is what a penetration tester do. I'm going to get into how to become a pen tester and the likes very soon, or when we come to question and answer side. Now, the advanced level is a cybersecurity manager or administrator, really well paid, to say the least. And that means you're managing a team, managing people, you're managing a network and programs or systems. There are people who can do this and become cybersecurity managers for applications. If you go somewhere like, say, Facebook, or let's say Twitter. Recently, the Twitter hack that happened, there's a manager who can tell you, let's check this application, let's check 1, 2, 3, 4, let's check this kind of code, line based, or whatever it is that you have to check. They can think on a high level and give the specific task to people who have to get this done. The cybersecurity engineers, general knowledge about what they're doing, they're the highest level of security engineers to say, is that you get paid to be able to do the engineering aspect of things. But again, you are a managerial part of things. So you might not really touch a lot of code, but you still touch code. As a cybersecurity architect, you will know the security holes and the security loopholes that exist in a system or network. You'll be able to, to build a very secure network or systems for an organization. You'll be the one to be the architect in how they're going to design the next level of things. You'll be the one to say, let's not buy this firewall, but let's buy this other firewall. Or let's buy a UTM and because we're a small company, or let's buy a next generation firewall because we're about to grow at an exponential rate. So it's basically how, it's the same thing. So it's basically how you get to work into it. But where do you get access to all these materials? Today, I'm going to give you access to a lot of materials. This will be the first one, called the penetration tester student. Let me start sharing right now so that you get access to that. And I'm going to give you thousands of books. Now it depends on what you do with it. Where's the chat room? So that is the first book. This is a book plus videos. So I like this because it takes you through the basics of it, how to get the skills, the resources, the labs. Please take your time and understand how this works. The mistake a lot of people do is you want to rush to get to do anything and everything. Just a second, I need to get another book for you. 1 second. I'll put together another set of books that will really help you. I mean, anything and everything cybersecurity in the lights you're looking for, you will find it there. Let me get that. I hope it's flowing very well. Not to bombard you with too much information. There's an information overload sometimes that can happen. But anyway, I'm gonna get that for you in a few minutes. Let me just share screen still. The second one is this folder, which has quite a number of resources for you to learn programming languages, to learn how to do Linux and everything. I tell people when getting to cybersecurity as a career, there is no way you will ever reach a bit further if you don't learn Linux. Linux, even though you don't use it every day, Linux is one of the most important elements when it comes to cybersecurity. So you need to be able to make sure that you get to know the basics of cybersecurity. But the thing is, the Linux basics can help you so much in being able to understand how to get and to be able to understand the basis of security. Let me share with you another link which has quite an amount of information. So this is a bunch of books. One of my friends called Jezreel has been downloading a lot of them. And I believe almost anything, everything you're thinking about, I hear. So make use of it. I think with that, there's a lot of materials that you get there when it comes to cybersecurity. It's good that I share these books right now before I forget. That's why I shared them. That's a mistake a lot of people make when it comes to cybersecurity. They start rushing. You want to rush to do anything and everything. You try to rush to do anything and everything at once. That doesn't really help. I know people want to get to do hacking in day one, and it's not as easy as it is. So you need to make sure that you pace yourself, be able to plan yourself ahead to know, how do I get to the level that I want to be? This cycle free code camp is really good for you to learn basic programming. Even if you're good, you want to test yourself to know how to do a few things here and there. You can get them done in with free code camp. Then there's another site called Cybery. Cybery has a lot of courses for free. As you can see here, there's a Kali Linux fundamentals, the cyber network security for free, web defense for free. But again, I would say start with the basics. So there's, I can't see, let me see, cybersecurity engineer penetration tester. I usually go to this penetration tester course because that's the easiest way for me to be able to get to know the basics of it. But browse this website properly. I always tell people to go to Cybery, get to understand the basics of it, and that will allow you to be able to know which level you are at. And it's good to just explore. So, but the course that I shared before, the first one, where is it? This one will basically take you through very nice and easy. This course is usually paid for, but we found it online. I didn't steal it. I only borrowed, and I'm only sharing because it's a borrowed material as well. So get to understand the courses, let's check the resources, get to the labs, and be able to practice. Now comes the difficult part. People always ask the question, how much am I supposed to make when I'm doing cybersecurity? Very interesting question, and people ask me, how much did I start making? 2011, when I started in cybersecurity and everything, I was making 30,000 Kenya shillings. 30K is, anything I'm talking about is gross. That means you have not been taxed yet. You are still going to get deducted. So you do 30% of this, your cash is gone. And this went on for approximately 8 months before I got accepted into the company fully. And I went to 67,000, I think. 67,000, which was for the rest of my entire time there, for the entire time for 2 years. Now, 67,000, I'm a foreigner. So being a foreigner, they paid for my work permit, but they subtract 10,000 Kenya shillings every month. So I had nothing left after that. I was still back to the 30. But when I was in Korea, after within my studies and getting engaged with people, I started realizing, wait, this is pretty interesting that people are earning so much. I did an internship where I was being paid 100,000 Kenya shillings. I think let me put it 1,000 USD so that people who are from everywhere can understand. I think paid 1,000 USD as how do you call it, as an intern, and I was coding a vulnerability scanner solution. Funny thing is, I'm actually using it right now in my organization. I wish at that time I asked for equity, even 1%. By now I should be a rich man, but I never understood any of those. So that was $1,000. But I went to a conference where I was supposed to speak. So I was supposed to do a 40 minutes presentation. So it's a conference called CodeGate. CodeGate paid me 3,500 USD. Let me tell you something. I was shocked because I didn't even expect that to come. I was doing this for free as usual. But I'm like, if I can do 2 of this a month, I think I'll be fine. That's how much people pay. But the thing is, it all comes to one thing, the value you bring to a particular person. They found it so interesting that they had to pay me that much. And people sponsor such events. They sponsor for speakers to actually come and deliver their knowledge. So the good thing was, because I was focused on a particular area of security, that people will pay for the particular detail that you want to give them. But if you want to be, I try to be jack of all trades, but I still came to be stand still. I've been able to be a security consultant, an analyst, and more like a strategist to understand how people work. And I was doing both sides of things. Now, again, like I said, you're not only going to be a cybersecurity technical person, but you can also do what you call, there are so many other courses which are non-technical, which is CISA, we have CISM, we have CISSP. CISSP will need it to be technical, so let me not get there. You need others such as, anyone can help me out if you know, PECB. As a lead auditor, you can be a lead auditor or implementer. Like, for example, a lead auditor or implementer if you're a PCB trainer, a trainer in PCB gets paid a minimum of $5,000, $1,000 a day, basically, for their presentations or delivery. And that's how most people pay. So the dynamics are different. This is somebody who's not even technical at all, but the person understands all of these. So all of these lead for you to become a certified auditor. But there are other skill set that you know. So you see, this is a path which is not technical, but this is to do with somebody who understands security, but also knows how to respond to the governance aspect of things. I'm talking about somebody who understands policies and governance. So that's another path you can take. So I say I say people should need to choose which side they want to get into, both the legislative or non-governance, I mean the non-technical aspect of things, or get into the technical aspect, which requires a lot more work. Both ways pay very well, depending on the kind of value you deliver to the people and how you take it up. I don't need to tell you how my salary is right now, but I'm okay. I'm fine. It's not bad, and I just want to make sure that we can have a conversation. 30 minutes is enough for me to talk. Let's have a conversation. I want you to ask questions of things that I might have left out, or things that you think you feel like I should have added. Last but not the least, if you are in the technical space and you want to get to learn how to do a lot of things, you need to get into what you call, okay, I think let me choose, if you are already technical, if you're already here and you've done a few of those, there's something called web app. So you need to learn various kind of elements when it comes to security analyst with web applications. Then we have networks, and we have, so when it comes to web application, there's something called BWAP, or there's another one called DVWA. And then when it comes to network, you find something called Kioptrix, which you can all get it from vulnhub.com. Vulnhub.com will be able to get you access to some of these things easily. Let me just show you some of these virtual machines so that you can see them really. So let's get here. I hope I've shared this one already. So there's a BWAP. And the good thing is when you Google BWAP, you'll find the entire walkthrough is actually there. If I type BWAP walkthrough, you'll find it there. People guide you, be able to learn how to do this. And BWAP obviously is going to work on virtualization and a virtual machine. So virtual machine that you can use, say, VirtualBox or VMware. Any of those can be used for you to actually load virtual machines. So virtualization is really important for you to understand. Then you go to Kioptrix, no, DV, let's use the same place, DVWA. Again, there's so many of those tutorial that is out there, DVW tutorial, just to get you the basics of how to learn how to do basically security, web application security. Then Kioptrix. Kioptrix, there's level 1, level 2, level 3. And the last but not the least, when it comes to that, it's Metasploitable. So Metasploitable has, not Metasploitable 1, 2, 3, there's 4. Those are the ones that can get you basics into learning how to do basic security testing. Then, of course, when you get to do some of these is when you get to places like Hack the Box. So VulnHub, first of all, Hack the Box. VulnHub gives you access to so many vulnerable labs. And the good thing is, for every lab that you see, they have the walkthroughs. So you can download the walkthroughs and be able to go through it to see how it is. I usually tell people it's good to, first of all, try it out, try it with the walkthroughs for a month or 2 or 3. And from there, you will see there's a pattern of the kind of commands that you have to use every time you're doing security assessments. That for now, when you see other new boxes that are coming in, you don't have to take the walkthrough anymore. You learn how to be able to do it by yourself. They have different difficulty levels, allows you to be able to learn different kinds of technologies and be able to know how different levels of exploitation. Then comes the ultimate kind of hacking place when you want to learn a lot. It's called Hack the Box. So Hack the Box, you need to hack the username and password before you can even log in. So Hack the Box has different levels. Today, I just found out one of my mentees today, 16-year-old, has finished almost 90% of Hack the Box. I don't know how crazy that is. And he started just like end of last year was when he started cybersecurity. He's 16. He started just the other day. He is really good at this right now. And I don't even get to that level. You'll never find my name there. All of these details here, maybe I can just put them all up here so that you can see. So hackthebox.eu will get you all of these, but from there you can now start to get to others like HackerOne, where it's a bug bounty program. Bug bounty programs, you're allowed to legally hack systems and networks of organizations to allow you to, I mean, you get paid for it. And a lot of guys in Kenya, the people who do this on as their job, I know some guys in Kenya right now, they make almost, I would say almost, they make quite a good amount of money. They make almost $5,000 or $3,000 a month. Um, just from doing bug bounties. They look for vulnerable systems, and HackerOne is registered a place where you legitimately or legally allowed to be able to go into it. So I think I'll stop there. Maybe share the updated version of this in the chat, and I'll allow you to ask questions that I can answer them.
Yeah. So we can start the question section. I'd received a request, a raised hand from Derek Mandela. Maybe he can go first.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Dr. Bright.
Hi.
Good evening. Yeah, it's been a while, but I have a question over here.
Yes.
Yes. Since you are an expert on the networking and the hacking side of cyber networks, recently over the past couple of weeks, we've had a case involving a person called Hush Puppy. Do you know him? I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I wanted you to expound on how maybe he got into that section of hacking and how good he was or something, you know. And yeah, I would really like to know how good he was.
I'm really glad you asked that question because something I didn't talk about is the law. People, you get caught one day. For people who say they're hacking, you get caught someday. Just a matter of when. Because when I try to when getting into the bad side of cybersecurity or or hacking per se, you get carried away, and that's where you start making a lot of mistakes, and then you get caught. So I was arrested by Interpol in 2010, February 10th. I'll never forget that. Because I was involved in trying to assist Anonymous when it was a group at the time in trying to get hacking done. And they came for me. It wasn't a pleasant moment, trust me. Even though they let me go, it was a very, very scary moment for myself. So you get caught someday. Hash Puppy, I don't even think he's the one who's hacking. He doesn't have the hacking skills, but he's a puppet to be able to do the money movements and the likes. The real hackers are probably hidden somewhere. They have so many how do you call it, IDs and the likes. And that's what a lot of people do. They might not be the real ones doing the hacking, but the people in the background. I once attended, so when I was in South Korea, I used to work for the Cyber Bureau of Korea. And part of my division where I was working with an FBI agent, we got invited to a very nice symposium with FBI, Interpol, a lot of Interpol agents, and then there's also Europol that was there. So everybody was presenting on details of how to track down hackers and everything. So we're learning how to track down sextortionists and the likes. And one of them is identifying the mistakes they do. They get carried away. Sextortion, for example, if some of you have not heard that before, sextortion is basically people who sit down, they have prostitutes in front of computers. They chat people and they bring the prostitutes to come have a conversation with the person. They record the target, the victim. When they record the person, they start asking for money because they say they're going to spread the details to his contacts. So the person keeps on paying for the rest of his life. He will keep on paying every month. There's some people who I know, for a record, they've been paying almost $400 every month. Imagine them scamming 100 people. That's $40,000 they've made every single month, tax free. But the thing is, they got sloppy because they got happy. They kept on doing that over and over again. We got in charge with them. We also faked a whole session, and they tried to do a sextortion on us, and we tracked them down. We sent them a payload, which hacked them back to get to know where they are, and we got them arrested in Asia. And that was this was an operation in China and Korea. So people get sloppy. That's what Hash Puppy got to. He got sloppy and he got caught. And so I always tell people, don't take the other route of the 2 years to get to make money. Rather go through the legitimate way. It pays off. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah. So there was another question from the question was, what are the minimum skill sets to venture in cybersecurity apart from Linux? So maybe you can take that one, Dr. Bright.
Minimum skill set.
Yes, to venture into cybersecurity. It was asked on the chat section. I'm not, can't see the person who asked.
Here. It's what I shared. Basic programming languages, basic networking, do the certified ethical hacker course, join a few hacking groups if you can find them. IRC channels don't exist anymore, so Discord is the place. Learn how databases work, get to learn Linux. Backtrack 5 was what it was back in the day, not anymore. So learn Kali Linux or Pirate OS or Arch Linux, any of those. Then you need to learn how to do web application security testing, with examples are BWAP, DVWA. For networks, you use Cubetrix and Metasploitable. And you get a lot more from foundhub.com. When you're really good there and the likes, you can now move to Hack the Box. And if you're feeling challenged, you want to make money, you go to HackerOne. But you need some sort of skill set that you want to do. Yeah, so that's basically how it is.
The other one was, what are some of the mistakes you have made, and your advice as well? So basically highlighting some of the mistakes you made.
Yeah, so the thing is, I can see John Collins has posted. John Collins is a 16-year-old I was telling you, who has reached one of the highest level of Hack the Box. And he started just the other day. He was barely a guy who knew Linux. So mistakes that I've made, I tried to learn everything at once, and that didn't really help. So it became a problem for me later. Also, I should have taken a bit more seriousness when it came to the programming languages. I'm not one of the best when it comes to how do you call it, programming, but later I got to learn how to get to do that. I wish I learned a bit more there. I'll be in a better place right now. But yeah, but different people take different path. I know people who are really big bosses of NSA or even FBI, but they're not technical. They understand security, but they've never been on a box. And that's where some of the times some people also are a hoax. You go to some banks and a person is not technical at all, but is instructing you to do things because they don't understand properly. So it's the mistakes that I made were basically my focus areas trying to do everything, anything at every time. Some of my students, someone like John Collins, he used to come with too many questions. And I'm like, take a chill, just relax, learn a few things here and there before you go to the next one. And he does listen. He never used to listen at the beginning, but he was a very stubborn guy. But later he learned, and he took it one step at a time, and he does things, bring it back, and get to ask questions. Does this work? I don't know why this is not working, but I found a new way of doing it. And the thing also, be curious and look for a mentor. And when I said a mentor, I'm not saying Bright. There's sometimes I tell people, John Collins can be your mentor. He can actually guide you on how to get to where he is right now. A mentor doesn't have to be somebody who is very technical, but you can find so many guys on Twitter. Twitter is one good place that I find a lot of information. So if you go to my profile, you'll find that I keep on retweeting a lot of stuff there. So Twitter is one place you find a lot of stuff. I forgot to mention also that if you have details that you've done in your cybersecurity journey, go talk about it. And people don't like to share details of what they have achieved. And I find that a bit unusual sometimes. Share details of your journey in the cybersecurity space. It can get you somewhere. Um, I share a lot on my LinkedIn. I believe my LinkedIn profile is what would get me extra jobs to be done, and people reach out to me asking me to do security assessments or to help or to even do a keynote speech. One company who one time told me to come to a keynote speaker, and I did my research and I decided to charge $7,000. I was told I was the cheapest. I didn't go. I was in Kenya. They said I'm too far away. I'm like, I'll fly. I mean, why not? I'll fly and get to wherever you are. I don't mind. But the thing is, the thing you need to know is I was just there like I need to see it's other people. These other kind of places you can join such programs. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to, or I'll share, and then you can get to join that program. These are all someone like this guy Hillary. When he started back in the day, he was still learning. He left from scratch, and right now he's one of a really good top earner when it comes to back bounty programs. But what I was talking about here is on my LinkedIn profile, I really shared a lot of my speaking abilities that I'm able to communicate when it comes to cybersecurity. And this gets me to talk about, to get to speak at more places. If you count all of this is approximately 80 something. So that's the thing. Mistakes I used to do in the past was not to share, but now I share every single thing that I can I get. Any small speaking event that even after this one, I'll go add it to the list because that's how people get to notice about what you're doing and how you can actually share how you can reach more people. So share all the things that every little milestone that you get to do, share them.
Okay. So there are a couple of chats coming through. So maybe we can answer some of them. How can someone also interested in artificial intelligence incorporate it into their journey in cybersecurity? That was by Mark.
Yeah. So people in artificial intelligence or machine learning, I usually say I don't know if artificial intelligence exists because that is telling something to go learn by itself and come back and respond to you. But we have machine learning. The machine learning, and okay, let me not kill the vibe there, but in artificial intelligence or AI, there is still data that is being moved around. You still need to learn security to be able to actually secure yourself or secure the data or the organization. So you're building some sort of a neural network and the likes. Security will still have to come in. So again, the basics will really come into play. Always make sure that you can get the basics right.
Okay. So from Erastus asking, how challenging is it to transform from a self-taught software engineer to a cybersecurity professional? Maybe somebody
Pardon?
else can. How challenging is it to transform from a self-taught software engineer to a cybersecurity professional? Maybe somebody can after this question can ask a question via the audio.
Yeah. There are so many guys who used to be software engineers and they switch to cybersecurity, not because cybersecurity is more superior, but some of them switch to become secure development engineers, where they teach people how to do secure coding. Not teach it per se, but you work in organizations where they're doing secure coding. There are others who tend to now start teaching secure coding practices, and some completely switch to become, how do you call it, pen testers, because they understand code and they do pen testing of mobile application or networks or systems. There's somebody who I know who was not even in security. He was an architect. So he was doing cybersecurity. He was doing architecture in university. Came for one of the sessions that we did, something like this, very similar. And now he's a complete cybersecurity engineer and doing security operations center. So a lot more is going to depend on you to give, you need to pace yourself again, but follow the path that you are doing. But again, get those basics right. If you're really good with software, if you're good with software development already, go into networking, learn to see exactly how do you call it? What are the networking skills that you're missing? Get to learn the basics of security. Let's say hacking. Something like hack the box. Like hack the box has network has software development security challenges that you can work on. So I believe that that'll be the easiest way for you to be able to switch from one to the other. Um, yeah, that'll be the easiest way. I'm seeing that some people are saying they want a recording of this. So please talk to the administrator or the host to be able to share this recording with you as
Yeah,
well.
I'll share the recording, but the recording will also be available on our socials after this. So we'll also post it and share it.
Someone say that how much more is networking connected to cybersecurity? It's connected in all senses.
There was a question earlier about shortage of cybersecurity individuals in Kenya. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, well, with that, I will say yes and no. Right now, there's a program called ECRAL. I don't know if you all heard about ECRAL, EKRAAL. They take in 60 students every cohort, which is after every 6 months. Check on them, Google them, search about them, reach out to them. And they take people in, usually fresh graduates or people who haven't worked for so long. And they will take you in, teach you how to do a lot of cybersecurity works. And from there, they hire you. The good thing is, I think they even pay you as you're studying. It's the program, it's very similar to a program that I used to do when I was in Korea called Kitri BOB program. So it's something very similar to Kitri BOB, whereby you learn security and you take it to the government to actually work for them. So do look out for such. I used to teach at BOB back in the day when I was in Korea. And the program is very interesting. Again, people are focused on just exactly what they want to learn. So you find a class of guys who are focused on cryptography, focused on cryptanalysis, and everyone who you're seeing in this picture right now is actually less than 35, less than 30 years old. Majority of them are between 20 and 20, between 16 and 25. So look for eCRAL. Let me see how we can get eCRAL. eCrowd Innovation Hub, and talk to them, apply, send an email, ask them questions, find out exactly when is the next cohort, how do you get in, what is the process, apply for it as well. Any more questions?
Yeah, maybe David can ask his question and Julius, we take 2 final questions, then we can call it a night. So what?
Oh, by the way, yeah, sure, ask.
What Julius was asking is, you have many extensions on your browser. Will you talk about the security-based ones, please?
The security of?
He was asking. Wait, Julius, could you ask the question, please?
Hi, Dr. Bright. I can actually see that you have many extensions or rather add-ons on your browser. Would you please talk about the security-based ones, please?
Or many add-ons. I don't have many though. What? Some of them are for cookie. This is for translation. It's for cookie injection. This is API testing. How do you call it? Add-ons. This is for ad blocking, and then I have LastPass for my passwords. And yeah, just very few. But some people have so many add-ons to do quick work. When it comes to how do you call it? When it comes to those. So it depends on exactly what do you want. I mean, what you want to do with the add-ons. I'm trying to share something here for anybody who's in software development and want to get into automation. This program is by Dimension Data, where they take you in for 6 months and train you. And it's actually someone who was talking about AI and machine learning and the likes. this TAP program will automatically interview you and hire you or not for the program. You will be able to, if you go through it and you pass if you get to be taken in the training for 6 months, when you pass, you get hired automatically to Dimension Data. It is a remote working, it's a remote, how do you call it? Study for this thing. So there's no physical. So apply for it even if you're working somewhere else and you feel like you want to change it later. Do look into that. Somebody's asking, what's your preference on the type of laptop to use for a VM and coding? Any laptop with a 4 GB RAM would be good. 4 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM will be good. Anything that you want, anything that you have will be able to work. These days, programming languages are very easy to, I mean, they're very soft in how they run on systems. I had an 8 GB tablet, Microsoft Surface, and it was stable. It was able to take about 3 VMs at the same time, so it still works. But the laptop I use for my Kali Linux work and security assessments is the Dell XPS 13. So I use the tablet because it's easy and portable to move around, and I use the Kali box to do majority of my work.
Yes, so maybe we can take one final one if you may allow, Dr. Bright. So is there a correlation between data science and cybersecurity? This is by Natasha Mugo.
Yeah. So yes, data science would be a subset of cybersecurity. Um, Data science is more of being able to make sense of what data you have and I mean, what data you have anyway. But again, security part of it will come in when you're trying to use that for some meaningful deductions of details. So again, I'll say data science is a subset of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very, 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 very broad. Um, Really broad to the extent that you can't be, I mean, the jobs that are out there differ depending on what you're doing. So someone will be a data scientist but will add a bit of security part of it and become something else. So you see, you can have a job as a security analyst, a security engineer, a security architect, a security administrator, a security software developer, a cryptographer, a crypto analyst, a security consultant. It all depends on exactly what you want to do. So whatever you're doing, you don't have to shy away from it. There's always the touch of security aspect of it to it. Somebody's asking privately, is it advisable after doing a course such as computer science to do a master's related to cybersecurity? Again, like I say, don't jump into doing courses that you're not comfortable with. I know people get to be forced by their parents just to do something because they like to, or it's hot cake. Somebody tells you you need to do data science because it's the thing. Do cybersecurity right now because it's the same. But do a lot of research. See what the job market is looking like. Do a lot of research to find out what are the courses. Even try it out. Try it out for a range of 30 hours. Be able to be comfortable and say, okay, I've learned something new. And those 30 hours, split them into 4 hours each per session and learn that whole detail. There's so many books. If I may just show you something very quickly before we go. If you are looking for any kind of book, any kind of system, any kind of software or whatever you look, you can say entitle index of, and then you put say, yeah, I was doing this the other day, Linux beginner, CBT Nuggets. CBT Nuggets is a program, or Linux beginner, and put PDF or say what PDF files, yeah, or the likes. You'll find all of these are books you can download for free. And the ones I've shared with you have majority of them anyway. So let me just put this for you in the chat. And then you can also say site com file type. They're looking for PDF to do with Python programming. and it will take you to directly PDF files that are to do with Python programming. So do make use of such things to search for anything you want. Could John Collins say something? Yeah, John Collins, unmute and say something. John Collins?
Hi, everyone. Hi.
What's up?
Hi, John.
What should I talk about exactly?
What drove what drove you to be able to get to doing Hack the Box and getting to that the higher level? I mean, Hack the Box is one of the most difficult um how do you call it, security boxes you can ever do. I mean, if you were to tell me that, if you brought me that picture and you're looking for a job, it would be very easy for me to get to hire you without any other interviews to say. So what drove you to that level, or how did you even start to where you are right now?
I met Eve Killel when I joined the Africa Hackon Legends group. And then she's the one who introduced me to Hack the Box. So she was like, this is a cool thing. Yeah. So then after that, Amarjit Laburam, he made a group called HTB Cyberdelia. That's where we discuss about boxes, challenges, whatnot. But I really got interested in what I was doing. So from time to time, I could probably see when you get to the rank hacker in Hack the Box, you're able to text someone, like you're able to text any person. So I realized the first guy in Hack the Box in Kenya was called Ahmed. So I texted Ahmed, he said me, yo, let's meet up in Telegram. He started showing me a few things, and before I knew it, I beated him. So it's all about curiosity, learning more. That aspect of wanting to learn more will actually push you forward, and you will go places. Yeah.
So just for you two guys to know, Africa Hackon Legends has only 10 participants, only 10 members, and those 10, let me see, about 1, 2, 3, 4 of us are mentors. That's Ifkilel, and Laura Teach, Amajid Laburam, so and I. We're the only mentors, and the rest are the people that I added. Before John Collins entered this Africa Hackon Legends, he bugged me. He really, really, really bothered me. But when he's bothering me, he's not bothering me to teach him stuff. He's bothering me with things he knows. And that was from Instagram. He's just like, I know this, I want to do this. I've done this, BCD, I want to try more. And I put them together with all the other mentees who are here are not older than 18 years old. 18 is the oldest, I think. So that's the thing. That's what Africa Hackon Legends is. It's not anybody who just can just get in. It's a very tedious program that they had to go through. But there are so many other groups that are out there which people can join. And if you just talk to guys, you should be able to find out soon. I think we can end it there.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I have another call in a few minutes. Yeah.
Maybe on a light note, has anybody ever tried hacking you from your mentees?
Oh, my mentees, they've always tried.
Have they succeeded?
They've tried. There's one of them who actually sent me a malware to try out something. He tricked me into opening the file.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed immediately that he was trying to hack me. But the thing was, he actually changed the process to something else. So he still had access without me knowing, which was a very, very interesting way of doing things. And he presented that, two of them presented that last year at Africa Hackon program, which I've been running. So there's Mike and Joseph Chalo. So Michael Chasang and Joseph Chalo, I don't know if they're in the group right now, or I don't know if they're here right now to listen. But they actually presented that, or how they can keep a persistency on your computer, even though you try to shut the connection. And that was a very interesting project that we did with them.
Good stuff. So just to conclude, a brief vote of thanks. So as we wrap up this session, I'd like to just take a minute to give thanks to Dr. Bright. Thank you for bracing the occasion. I'm sure you're a busy man. So I'd also like to appreciate Original Consulting Agency LLC, and to everybody who took time to attend and to participate. We've had a very interactive session. Thank you. I know it's Friday and it's Friday evening, but you decided to choose the talk and invest in computing. So that's a thank you. For the people asking about the links, I'll share the links, and maybe Dr. Bright can also share them later on to me in case I didn't get any. So thank you. The particular fora will be on our socials and on IGTV. Thank you everybody for gracing the occasion.
Thank you so much.
Project that you'll seek, so head over to acl.com. I'll share the link via the chat and some of the emails that you had sent. So in case you're interested in taking part in the project, please feel free to head over to their website. I shall also share their social media handles with all of you. Thank you. achia tu, unaona huo soja mwachie. Huo soja mwachie.